I would have to say this started about maybe 5 years ago, actually, where people were requesting, hey, you should like do your own prints. You should like do your own calendar. And I thought to myself, maybe I'm being sexist saying this, but I thought to myself, oh, that's usually a thing that the female cosplayers do. You don't really see guys doing
So
that.
what is that
And
like? Hate to interrupt, but like that's weird to me because like that's my thought too. In a lot of ways, is that that's something that I wouldn't think of as a guy. And
exactly.
so what is that like getting the request to do it and people saying, "Hey, do you have prints?"
I mean, I wouldn't say it was awkward. I just thought like it just wasn't a thing I would do. So I just kind of brushed it off and I just kept brushing it off. Every time people kept asking me, I just brushed it off. And then when was it? I think it was it? I think it was near the end of 2018. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do a calendar and I'm going to do it for 2020. And boy, that was a journey, let me tell you. Woo, that was a journey. Child, let me tell you. Um, okay, first of all, it was hard trying to find photographers because a majority of the photographers in the New York area that I know, except for maybe like a small handful, they work specifically with girls and they do, they specialize in
That is so
burlesque.
sexist.
Sorry.
That is just terrible against you. How dare they? I
I,
am offended as a male.
I I'm telling you the truth. I've lost count how many photographers I've emailed, I've text, and oh, I'm not interested, or oh, I'm booked for this, or oh,
Seems so
you know
odd. Like I'm sorry to interrupt, but like it seems so odd because this seems like such a cool project. This seems like because I've never heard of anything when this first came out, and I knew about it because obviously we're friends on Facebook, and even hearing this, I'm saying to myself like that seems like such a cool project. Seems like such a cool thing to do. And as a photographer, and maybe I think differently, and this is how I run this podcast that's associated that you were on, where I like different. I like cool indie projects. I like people doing different things. And that, like, I'm hearing this, and that's my reaction. Is if I'm a photographer who works exclusively with women, why wouldn't I want to shoot a man? That's just bonkers to me. But I'm continue, please, because now I'm even more fascinated.
Well, I mean, I was very frustrated for quite a long time, but I did have a select amount of photographers that did want to work with me, that have worked with me in the past, and were like so ecstatic about working with me on the calendar. So, big shout out to those guys that help contribute to the calendar, whether you were an editor, the cover designer, Bravo Illustrations, and every photographer that helped bring this to life. Thank you guys so much. But, those were the guys that, saw my vision. They even had their vision, and we just combined forces and mashed things up, and we just created this monstrosity that is the Cap Allender of 2020.